So, John Cena officially had his last ever WWE match in a WWE ring last night. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all, man. I talked about this topic in private. I talked about this topic, amongst people, peers, whatever. But I'm going to make this public. What is next for WWE? Because as you can see, the current product of WWE is not good. It's not good at all. We all grew up with John Cena. Doesn't matter if you was a kid, teenager, even a full-grown adult. We all grew up watching John Cena. It doesn't even matter at this point. Doesn't matter if you're a 90s baby, early 2000s baby, late 2000s baby. Doesn't matter. You grew up watching John Cena do his thing. You know what I'm saying? From the Super Cena era to the ruthless aggression era to the thugonomics era, you saw every face of John Cena. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to keep this honest with y'all, man. But before I really dive in, because I know it's a minute in or 2 minutes in, me and my group Lavish are going to sit here and make a podcast episode, our first ever podcast episode, talking about the same topic. I will highly appreciate it if you guys support. Again, support has been so little the past few months. It's just crazy to me. But that's for another video. But yeah, man, John Cena's retirement is just something that's really hitting hard and really hitting home. You know, this man has been through every highs and lows. You know what I'm saying? Vince McMahon made a real star with John Cena. You know what I'm saying? He really made a star. Now, who's going to carry the legacy? It seems like Roman Reigns is carrying the legacy, but who can you put Roman Reigns against when you had the opportunity to build stars? People are behind LA Knight. You just buried LA Knight. He's probably out the door because y'all did the same thing that y'all basically had Ricochet take the same type of beating that pretty much LA Knight has received. You know what I'm saying? And it really makes you wonder, damn, is LA Knight really out the door or is LA Knight injured? We don't know. But if anybody's taking a guess, it seems like he's out the door. Now, you look at every member on this roster, because now we're in a new era where John Cena is no longer a part of. Who is really a person that you can build up? Because you built up Seth Rollins, he's injured, so we won't be seeing him until sometime next year, probably by SummerSlam maybe, depending on how aggressive the rehab is and how much aggression that he put towards the rehab. But let's be honest, man, it's not looking good. You can sit here and say Braun Breaker. Don't get me wrong. Braun Breaker has the tools. He proved that, hey, he can talk on the mic. He proved that in a promo that he cut. He proved that, hey, I can talk. Having Paul Heyman there is not serving no purpose. And we need new managers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep going back to Paul Heyman. Put Paul Heyman with this guy, that guy. Listen, Paul Heyman, he's a good manager. I'm not going to say he's a GOAT because he's not. He is a good manager. But if you put Paul Heyman with somebody who really needs a Paul Heyman, he cannot get them over. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth of it. Look at Ryback. They put Paul Heyman with Ryback, couldn't get the guy over. Put the guy with Curtis Axel, couldn't get him over. Paul Heyman is pretty much booked to be with the top stars to make him seem like he's the greatest manager of all time. Just like he was hanging around with CM Punk during his legendary title reign of 434 days. You know? Again, Paul Heyman is a good manager, but he is not the GOAT because he cannot help talent who really needs the help to get over. You feel me? He already demonstrated that. John Cena is gone, bro. He's gone. We will never see John Cena ever again in a wrestling ring. So, what is next for WWE? We have a John Cena problem. We really do. Because John Cena has set the bar so high, it's hard for these superstars to even get close to that. You know what I'm saying? You got Roman Reigns, and Vince McMahon had a big role in helping Roman Reigns get over. So, again, the problems are all going back like a butterfly effect. You know what I'm saying? Vince McMahon knew who to get over. Vince McMahon knew who was going to say what and do what and how people would react. You people see that Triple H is not a good booker. He's a wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's not a booker. And of course, Triple H is going to get all the backlash because, again, his face is on the product. Now, if Triple H was smart, Triple H would have been saying, hey, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should have John Cena do this and do that. But Triple H, matter of fact, not even Triple H, Paul Levesque, okay? Because the Triple H I know wouldn't even put up with that shit. So Paul Levesque, let's keep it 100, bro. You had the opportunity to tell them, no, we shouldn't do this. No, we shouldn't go through with this. Y'all messed up John Cena's retirement tour. I talked about this. People are not going to remember the matches that came before. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few matches people are going to remember, and I talked about that in my last video that I even put out on here. Y'all can go check that video out. But again, you have to understand, bro. You ruined this man's tour. AJ Styles is retiring next year. So not only are you losing John Cena this year, he wrestled his last match ever in wrestling ever. You have to really sit back and think, how are we going to book AJ's farewell tour? How are we going to handle AJ's retirement? Everybody is retiring once you think about it. You know, there was talks that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to retire. And the best way to handle a Shinsuke Nakamura retirement is let that man go back to Japan. That's the best thing you could do, is let him wrestle in front of his people, in front of his country, and have a farewell tour there. Because you damn sure ain't using them for anything in America. And like, let's keep it real. You're not using them for nothing. His farewell tour will be nothing but him taking L after L after L after L. He don't need to be taking L's. So send him back to his country, let him wrestle in front of his countrymen, and let him have that farewell tour that he's planning. You know what I'm saying? AJ Styles is retiring, jumping back on the AJ situation. AJ is retiring in 2026. He already made the announcement. He can't keep going at the level that he once was doing this. You know what I'm saying? So how are we going to plan that out? Let's hope that it's not another John Cena tour where you turn him heel, which you could have done a whole bunch of things with a heel Cena. But what happened? It just fell flat on his face. And John Cena could have been the excellent heel. When he was a heel, he was doing a good job. A lot of people say that he didn't do a good job, but he did a pretty good job with what he could do. You know what I'm saying? The fact that The Rock didn't show up ever again after the WrestleMania appearance, I think it was a WrestleMania or one of those ones. I forgot. Travis Scott pretty much was done. So what was the point of having those two people there? Poor booking, right? As soon as Raw came on after WrestleMania, you didn't have Cena show up. So, again, what was we doing? You had this shit going for weeks on weeks until the last week, and here comes Cena with a mediocre fucking excuse about why he did what he did. And you expect us to be cool with that? And after that, that farewell tour just fell flat, man. But AJ Styles tour, you could do a lot better. And I hope AJ Styles really put his input in. Because if not, it's going to be another Cena farewell tour 2.0. He's going to be losing and everything else. That's just the truth of it. Unless he put his foot down and learned from what happened with John Cena. That's the truth of it. You're trying to get Cody Rhodes over. Listen, Cody, he's a good wrestler. Cody is a good wrestler. I will say that. Cody is a good wrestler. But here's the thing. You had the opportunity to give Cody Rhodes the shot when he had a gimmick. This American Nightmare gimmick, what is it supposed to be? What is the purpose of it? I'm glad that Cody is finally stepping into what he believes is his calling. But if we all being honest and we're all going back to the early stages of Cody, when he was doing that dashing gimmick, that was top tier. And that was a Vince McMahon idea. Because again, Vince McMahon knows how to make stars. Okay? Again, when he went to the dashing gimmick, chef's kiss. When he went to undashing, oh man, that took that to the next level. And he could have been a multiple time WWE champion around that time. But the trigger was never pulled because Vince McMahon felt that, hey, the crowd isn't connecting to this undashing gimmick. They wasn't connecting how they were connecting with the dashing gimmick. This undashing gimmick is not doing it. So, of course, they couldn't have done it. You know, I try to tell people all the time who has 2 functioning brain cells, because it's clear most people don't even got that going on. And there's no disrespect and there's no strays. But the truth is, Vince McMahon was the last of an era. He proved it. The bloodline storyline, he was the one that masterminded that idea that got everybody invested. Triple H piggybacked off of that storyline. He piggybacked off of that. And everybody's saying, oh, Triple H is a good booker. Triple H is... Listen. Triple H, Nick Khan, corporations at TKO, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Just like y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing with UFC. UFC is not what it used to be. And that's the truth of it. If you watch UFC, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't hit the same as it did as before. And you can blame Dana White for sitting there letting them ruin his shit. Simple as that. You can put a face on that. But as far as this wrestling shit goes, man, you really got to think, man. What's going to happen in 2026, man? What's going to happen? John Cena is gone. There's no more dependent on John Cena. So what you going to do? Try to bring back nostalgia acts? We don't want to see Undertaker anymore. Undertaker said he was done wrestling. He was done. He's doing his little 6 feet under or whatever it is with his wife, which he done his other co-host dirty as hell. And that's the truth of it, bro. You done that man dirty. You done that man foul. And he may not want to come out and say that because y'all have a good friendship, but you did that man dirty, man. You did that man wrong. You did him foul. You backdoored him. Simple as that. You chose money, which you have countless of money. You're a millionaire. And you couldn't sit there and stay true and have some integrity. Same thing. Listen, I'm just going to keep it flat real like I've been doing on every video I ever done. The John Cena farewell tour was a failure. I discussed that. You know what I'm saying? AJ Styles, his farewell tour is coming 2026. Hopefully AJ Styles sit there and tell them that he wants full creative control over his farewell tour. Shinsuke Nakamura is supposed to retire very soon, probably in 2026 too. Have that man go to Japan, wrestle in front of his countrymen, put on bangers after bangers after bangers in Japan, and keep him there and let him finish out his career in Japan. Because if he stays in the U.S., I'm just going to be honest, he's going to get buried. Nobody really supports him here, all like that. He may have a few supporters here, but the truth is, nobody is really caring about a Shinsuke Nakamura. The only time people really cared about Shinsuke Nakamura is when he had that one thing, which he still uses to this day, in NXT where that's all people care about is the sing-along. And then when he had lyrics onto that thing, oh man, chef's kiss, you know? So have him finish his career in Japan. That's the best advice I can give you. What else? It's just so much, man, because again, you got to build the future, man, and the future is not looking too bright, man. It's not looking too bright. You don't want to push new talent. You had the opportunity to make stars. Everybody was behind LA Knight. Now it's like, why support LA Knight? You got Drew McIntyre acting like a hurt bitch, and he should never even act like that, man. Drew McIntyre is the last real close to megastars. He got the look. He got the aggression. You know what I'm saying? Vince made this dude the chosen one, right? And it was a little too early for him. In his earlier career, it was too early. You know, he was a kid. He didn't know any better. He had to be released, matured, grew to be one of the biggest acts on the indies at that time, and brought him back. All I'm saying is this John Cena farewell tour, it hurts because this man could have done so much more. But again, who could he wrestle? Who could he win against that he didn't have a chance to wrestle against that actually could use a Cena rub? You could have had him face LA Knight. The crowd love LA Knight. People still love LA Knight. But at this point, bro, there's no point, you know. People are still going to support him. You tried the Jey Uso shit. People are tired of Jey Uso. It just feels like it was forced. And I already said this before. I said Jey Uso had his moment. He climbed the pinnacle. He reached the very top of the industry. And again, the reason why his shit didn't work and the reason people are turning against him is because now this shit is starting to show. The cracks are starting to show. You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, if Jimmy Uso never got arrested for that DUI case, that would have been Jimmy Uso's spot. And I still believe that Jimmy Uso deserves a singles title run. I don't care what nobody say. He deserves that. You know? You gave Jey Uso everything on a silver platter. Why can't y'all do Jimmy Uso the same way? Now y'all want to put him back as a tag team. Jimmy doesn't need to be in a tag team. Jimmy needs to be a singles world champion. And that's the truth of it. I don't care if you like it or not. But, man, it's going to be a depressing 2026, man. We need Vince McMahon back, man. We need Vincent Kennedy McMahon back. And a lot of y'all turned y'all backs on Vince. You talk down about Vince. Oh, he's out of touch. Vince McMahon is this. Vince McMahon is that. Yes, he kind of lost a few steps, but he never lost touch. There's videos of him giving Miz advice when Miz went out to pretend to be The Rock. And these are the words that the Miz said. He said, nobody's going to believe that I'm The Rock. They're not going to believe I'm 6'something, bald head, Samoan. They're not going to believe it. Vince McMahon says, go out there. They will believe it because they'll be so caught up in the moment. And what happened? Rock's music hit. Miz came out. Nobody gave a fuck because they all thought that he was The Rock. Vince McMahon knows what he's doing, bro. And it proves it. It proves it, man. And the fact that now that he's gone, now everybody wants to sit there and say they want Vince back. You should have, like I always say, you better appreciate shit while you have it. Because when it's gone, you're going to feel it. And a lot of people are feeling it. Just like a loved one, just like a relationship, just like video games, whatever the case may be. TV show, music, whatever it is. Appreciate it while it's here. Because when it's gone, it's gone. And that's the realest shit I can ever tell you people. That's the best advice I can ever give you people, man. This man is gone. Cena is never coming back, bro. And as a grown-ass fucking man, that hurts, bro. That hurts that John Cena is done. I get it. The man's body is not what it used to be. He's not moving the way he used to be. He can't keep competing at that high level that everybody expects him to be at. So I totally get it. I totally get it. But damn, this leaves WWE in fucking pieces and ruin, because who do you have left? Brock Lesnar doesn't give a fuck about being there because he knows how bad the product is, and he's only coming through for the money. So I can't get mad about that, because Brock Lesnar, he's known for this. He walked away at his very best. He was on top of the mountain, and he said, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done." And that's when John Cena took over. So like I said, man, Brock is only doing it for the money. He's a megastar in and out the ring. Proved that he could beat people up for real in UFC. He conquered that, became their world champion there. He doesn't need to do that. He can retire. Pretty much he already is in retirement because he's barely around. Then you got Roman Reigns. You know, Roman Reigns had the same background. Nobody wanted to see him. He was getting pushed down your throat. But once he found the tribal chief era, boy, he was untouchable, man. He can actually be himself. And he actually climbed to the top. And who can you put him against? What's going to happen in 2027? Will we have another top star? Will we spin the block and talk about another situation of who should we build, who should be this, who should be that? All I know, man, 2026 is going to be a little rough and bumpy, man, because there's no stars there. You know, I can see potential. There's potential in the waters. You got Dominic Mysterio, which I believe he has outgrown the Judgment Day, in my opinion, you know, and he should be on his own. Take Liv Morgan with you. Be on your own. You know, Finn Balor should have been a star already. That's my opinion. Some of y'all may go against it. Don't care. He should have been a star. But you ruined him, you know. Ever since he got injured, when he won the Universal title, his career has never been the same since. Jimmy Uso deserves a singles world title run, in my opinion. But I doubt we'll get it. I hope we do, but I doubt we'll get it. Braun Breaker doesn't need Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. It's time for Braun Breaker, which he should have just been Braun Steiner, to be on his own. He could talk for himself. He could defend himself. You saw how great he was in NXT. He could do this shit by himself. And it's time for him to do this shit by himself. Logan Paul has potential. So why is he in the vision? He can easily take over. People hated Logan Paul. But you can't deny the man is good. He's good at what he's doing, man. He proved it. There's no more debates about, oh, he should do it. He proved that, hey, he's dedicated to this game. He's dedicated to the sport. He's dedicated to the craft. And he's doing excellent with it. Why he's in the vision? To be a lackey? I don't know. But like I said, man, there's a lot of potential in the waters. But in 2026, let's see what happens. But we definitely have a John Cena problem. You failed his farewell tour. The last match he had, Dislike bombed the hell out of it. Nobody is fucking with it. You know, and I can't blame Gunther, but then again, you could have had somebody else retire Cena. Gunther retired Goldberg, okay? He retired Goldberg. So why does he get another shot at retiring a GOAT like John Cena? You telling me you couldn't have Jimmy Uso do it? Like, you telling me you couldn't have Logan Paul do it? You're telling me you couldn't have Dominic Mysterio do it? You telling me that you couldn't have Braun Breaker do it? These are the people who needs the rub. These are the people who needs the rub. That should have been one of his last matches, honestly. But this video's been going on long enough, man. I mean, we will spin the block again and talk about this topic, but all I'm saying is WWE has a John Cena problem. And the crazy part about it, which nobody really talked about, the Kurt Angle, farewell tour. Kurt Angle's final match was against Baron Corbin. And look what happens. Baron Corbin is not even with the company, but he retired Kurt Angle. So that was a waste of a match. Somebody could have used that Kurt Angle rub. You could have had Finn Balor fucking use that. Or Jimmy Uso or somebody. But y'all think about this, man. Like I said, I'm going to wrap this up right here. It's been your boy Skiez. Every link is in the description below. Run those numbers up. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all stay safe out here. Happy holidays. If you made it towards the very end of this video, you're a real one. I appreciate it. Share the video. Let's push it out in the algorithm on here. And let's keep shit like this alive, man. You know what? You already know. I'm out.